Hi, it's me, Daphne, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about the books I plan to / hope to read in December. I'm going to tell you about the books that I'm currently reading, plus a book that could make a good Christmas gift because it's interactive and I've been having a lot of fun with it. And then I have some Black Christmas romances that I want to get to at the recommendation of Shaughnessy. I will link her channel down below if you don't already know her. She's great and she really likes to feature Black books on her channel, which I love and I want to read more of myself. We're gonna start off with the two books I'm actively in the middle of. So I am, I'd say, 2/3 of the way through this book here. Pardon my Frenchie. This is a Black romance between a woman who owns a doggy daycare and an ex-army guy. He's a vet, I guess you could just call him a vet, but not like an animal vet. They live in New Orleans and it's their romance together. He has recently become the new owner of his grandmother's dog, who spends a lot of time with her dog. They're like dog besties, and the two dogs go viral online and like they have to interact with each other and stuff. So I have to be honest, this book is over 350 pages and it took me a long time to feel any romantic chemistry in the story. I'd say until about 230 pages in, when the characters actually talk to each other deeply and like get to know each other for real versus just seeing each other and being like, oh yeah, they're hot, but like I'm not here to date, like, but they're so hot. You know, that was all the interaction you were getting. And then a lot of it was just like her running her business, him trying to stand up his business. And it just felt very like, oh, we're just reading about a woman that owns a doggy daycare and is trying to expand. And it just felt very separate and like not related to romance at all. So I was getting truly frustrated by that. And my husband was like, I can't wait till you're done with that book because you keep complaining about the fact that the romance is just not romancing. He didn't say it like that, but that's me summarizing. It could be more romantic in my opinion. It just felt lacking in that. And I want the background of like the doggy daycare in New Orleans and like her business stuff to be the background of the story. That makes it a cool setting for the romance to build and like cool scenarios for them to get to know each other and stuff. I don't want it to be like the main focus of the story because that is kind of boring. I'm here for the romance, not for a doggy daycare. Okay, but if the romance is at a doggy daycare, I'm like, oh, cute. You know what I mean? Do you get it? I don't have, you probably do. Anyway, next I am still reading Kaikeyi. I put it down because I got the audiobook from my library and was really enjoying listening to it, but I was just taking my time with it and I ran out of time on my like loan. So I waited to get the audiobook back and I have it again and I've been listening to it and I'm really enjoying the story. I will have to say it's not like a book that I'm desperate to pick up. As soon as I put it down, I'm like, yeah, I'm chilling. But while I'm listening to it, I'm like, wow, like this is interesting. You know what I mean? It's also at a point in the story where there are new characters being introduced and I'm just like emotionally not ready. Like I know Sam bawled her eyes out reading this, and my college friend Ruth, I went to visit her in California a couple weeks ago, was telling me about this book too, and I was like, oh, I'm in the middle of that, and she absolutely loved it and gave it 5 stars. So I'm anticipating some heartbreak in there, and I just see the buildup for like a painful situation, and the author is just like hinting at like future things, like foreshadowing things and being like, oh, this is why people thought this, but like I don't know why yet, and I'm just like, oh no, I just know bad things are gonna happen. So I'm a little stressed. So yeah, in the middle of that, I think I'm at like 40-something%. So this next one isn't like a normal book. It's a book, but like it's a puzzle book. And I think this is such a cool one for a holiday gift. I've been really enjoying it. So basically it's like this, where you have to kind of puzzle out who did it, where, and with what weapon. And it has a connected story throughout. So you're like playing this detective guy and then you read like the cute little silly scenario and then you go to the back and you read the answer and then it like continues the story. Then you go to the next puzzle and the story continues and you meet some of the same characters and stuff. So it's really fun. I'm on level 2 of difficulty out of 4. I think this is a really fun activity book and just something to do that's not using a screen. I just love it. It's so fun and silly and I love it. So gonna continue doing this in December. Let's now talk about the Black Christmassy romances that I hope to get to this month. These books are on KU, and that's why I picked them, because I paid for the subscription, I might as well use it. The first Christmassy novella I've picked is called Unwrapped. I'm hoping it's a very steamy, fun time. It's not that long. It's 265 pages. It's a forbidden romance where this woman goes to the office party of her mom's company and has like this instant attraction with the boss man. A lot of the times when I pick books off KU, I have to like how the synopsis is written. And it's a bit sassy. It's like rule 1, rule 2, rule 3 through 5, like for her to stay away from this man. And then rule 6 is like forget rules 1 through 5. And I don't know, it just sounds really fun. And then I love reading the popular highlights too on Amazon to get an idea of like the vibe. I'm obsessed. And his name is Nick, which feels Christmassy, like Old Saint Nick. But yeah, excited about this one. All right, and then this next one is also under 300 pages, which I appreciate in books sometimes when I just want a quick, fun time. And I want to like get my book count up towards the end of the year. And also when I'm like testing out a new author, you know, sometimes it's scary to commit like a bunch of pages to one person. But anyway, this book is about a woman author. She's a Black romance author who got signed to a prestigious African-American publisher, but she's in a bit of a writing slump and she's trying to figure out a way to get out of it, but like her publisher has put a lot of pressure on her to quickly put out her next big hit. So they've given her an ultimatum, which does not seem very helpful, to write a Christmas romance or like be fired, which seems like really high stakes. And she's not really into the Christmassy romance novel world. Like she doesn't really like that. She thinks it's corny and stuff, which I can totally understand, genuinely, even though it's fun. So she goes to like a Christmassy village. She's like at basically an Airbnb or like a little, she's like renting out a place. And the guy that owns the rental, who I guess lives in the duplex as well, is this really attractive firefighter, and he's Mr. December on the firefighter calendar. Plus his name is Dorian Black, and I love the picture of Dorian Gray, and I think the name Dorian is pretty dope. And he's a fireman. Like, what? That sounds super fun. She's the grump, and I don't know what his opinion is on Christmas. Oh, also he's a widow, which adds like a more emotional level to the story, so I'm interested to see how that pans out. So I'm sure he'll be like nervous to get into a new relationship. And it just says sparks fly and a fire is ignited that not even he can extinguish. So sounds super cute. Very excited about that. The last one that I got off Shaughnessy's recommendation is called Just a Pretty Face. It kind of negates what I said about short books because this book is really long. So we'll see if I get to it. It's over 400 pages, like almost 450 pages, which is so many pages. The premise of the book is pretty simple. We have this guy, Henry, who hates Christmas. He's quite the grump. He doesn't want to decorate the tree at the office. He doesn't want to do the Secret Santa with his colleagues. That is just so funny. I can just imagine like him being at the office like, oh, you want to join in on the Secret Santa? He's like, no. But things change when this girl walks into his life. Her little thing is that she just loves Christmas. She's humming along to Christmas songs. And she's like, I've been so good this year. I deserve like a great Christmas. And she's like, ooh. She sees the guy and she's like, he's pretty. Like she wants him for Christmas. So that sounds super fun. Don't really know why the book is so long. I have no idea what could happen. Hopefully like the pace is like interesting. Though I do like a slow burn also at times. I gotta trust the process. We'll see how I like this author, J.S. Jasper. Now I'm gonna tell you about the non-specifically Black Christmas romances that are on my radar. So I just picked up this one from Book of the Month for my December pick. It's called The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. It's got this kind of like retro vibe cover to it. And it's not that long. It's less than 300 pages. And like, why is there a crime? I don't remember what the synopsis is, so I'm like surprised. It says, Knives Out gets a rom-com twist in this Rivals to Lovers Christmas romance mystery from best-selling author Ali Carter. Oh, okay, yeah. There's like a mystery writer, and she invites these two authors to her home, and I think she's like allegedly been murdered on site. So very classic like mystery setup at a fancy house or whatever. And they have to figure out what happened. Why did the author, this big well-known author who invited them to this house, like disappear? And they have to work together, but they're like rivals, I think. Ooh, that sounds so fun. I don't read that many mysteries, but I think I'm really gonna love the mystery aspect to this. Obviously, I want the romance to be really fun and like the priority, but I hope the mystery is like really interesting. So excited to get to this as well. And then the last Christmassy romance that I'm adding to this TBR officially is called Can I Tell You Something? And I got this off of Jess's recommendation from Peace Love Books. She absolutely loved this book. And if I could listen to this via audio, I would, but I don't think I'm gonna have access to it because I don't have Audible membership. And I'm not gonna buy it. It's on KU. This is about a man who has a sexy podcast, kind of. Not really sure what app it's on, but it's just his voice. I think he does these scenarios as if he's like the sexy love interest, and then the listener gets to put themselves into the story. That's my assumption. I know that's definitely a thing on YouTube. Not that I've listened to them, but I've like come across commentary channels that talk about stuff like this. Jess called him a sex worker in that way, but he also has a full-time job and he keeps this kind of on the DL. Like nobody really knows that he does these like sexy voice podcast things except his best friend. The guy's name is Cameron. So he goes to his best friend's home for the holidays. He comes to find out that his best friend's little sister, Hannah, is a big fan of the podcast. Though, obviously she doesn't know that it's him just from listening, but when she meets him IRL, she's like, oh, that's the voice, I know him. And she's obsessed with it. So it's their romance. Interested to see how that dynamic works as like a fan having a romantic interaction, story, whatever, with the person. Because sometimes that can be kind of weird, like, feel like they know too much about you and all that stuff. Jess really liked it. She said it was really fun, so I'm excited to give it a try. She really sold it to me. I might not be selling it to you, but she really sold it to me. Sounds fun, a very unique premise that I've never come across before, and it's Christmas. The next book I'm gonna talk about, I don't think has anything to do with Christmas, but my friend I know in real life wrote this book. I have both of her books in this series, but I haven't started the series yet. So this is book 1, and it's called Dear God, Have You Lost Faith in Me? And it's kind of perfect timing because it looks like the character's in a beautiful park and it's very snowy. So good for December. I'm not very religious. I know my friend is quite religious, so I'm interested to see like how that resonates with me personally, but I'm very excited to support my friend and read her book. She said this one doesn't have any romantic storylines throughout it, but her second one has a little bit of a romantic storyline. I don't think it's like a romance, but there's a love story in it. So very intrigued. Oh my God, it says the holidays. It is around the holidays. It's perfect. I'm so glad I'm picking this up this month. I can't believe this is a Christmas book and I didn't realize it was a Christmas book. It's perfect. It's a Christmas book. Okay, so basically we have our main character, Lydia. She wants to do the most for the holidays, but it is a sore spot for her because she was orphaned when she was young and she only has her grandmother and her own young son, and she's trying to provide a Christmas to remember as a single mother, but she's having financial problems, and it says it will be a miracle of prayers and schemes to pull off the Christmas of her son's dreams, I imagine. With such faith, her plans seem infallible. However, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans, right? Classic statement. So we're going on the journey of Lydia's Christmas this year. So yeah, wow. It's just meant to be, just meant to be. So yeah, this author goes by a pseudonym. It's Amani. Definitely check her out. I'm gonna be a little biased because she's my friend, but yeah, I would love it if you checked out my friend's book. Now, this last one has nothing to do with Christmas as far as I'm aware at all. But I should have read it already. So I'm adding This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. I have the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition apparently, which I just think is like more pink. This came out in 2024 this year, and I don't know what happened. I was very excited about this, but I think the pressure got to my head a little bit. I just didn't pick it up. So this is my redemption. And also Kristen from Kristen Craves Books, I'll link her channel down below, shamed me in the comments because I haven't read this yet. And I was like, yes, I know. It's so shameful. Did I put this on another TBR? Probably. I don't remember because it was at the bottom of my bookshelf. Maybe it was. I don't remember, but I didn't read it yet. So here it is for December's TBR. This is the second book in Kennedy Ryan's series. The first one was Before I Let Go, which was a very emotional second chance romance between a divorced couple who had preteen age children together. And this one is about her friend in the friend group. The specifics, I don't really remember. Okay, so this sounds like it's about Soledad, who built a life with this man. She had at least 2 daughters with him. It just says daughters. Her dream life with this, happy family goes up in smoke because of betrayal. So I imagine her husband or her partner cheated on her. So she doesn't really have that much time to grieve the relationship. She's just trying to keep it together for her daughters when Judah, a single dad, comes into her life. So I assume she's not looking to get into a relationship after like dealing with such a big disaster of things falling apart, but they just can't resist each other. And she's trying to figure out, can she trust him? Can she trust herself? After everything that's happened, is she brave enough to take a risk for what could be? And the title, This Could Be Us. Anticipating to have my heart ripped out again because Kennedy Ryan is really good at making emotional stories and just painful and agonizing in the best way possible. But it's a romance, so the characters are gonna make it out okay on the other side, which is part of the reason why I love romance. Just gives us all more hope that life will be okay. I'm gonna prioritize this, I think, because I should have read this in 2024, and 2024, as we all know, is quickly coming to a close. All right, that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate it, and obviously it helps out my channel. And I don't usually promote my Instagram on here, but I want to get into the habit of it. So I'm gonna link it down in the description if you want to connect with me over there. Feel free to DM me if you want to chat. I'd love it. And that's all for now. I will catch you in another video. Bye.